In Alberta's far north, one town is closer to the Arctic Ocean than to its own provincial capital. And that's just the beginning of the province's contradictions. This is a place where rivers drain into 3 different oceans, where deserts sleep inside forests, and where lakes vanish underground, as if swallowed by the earth. Alberta isn't just a province, it's a geological riddle, a map of miracles hidden behind mountains and muskeg. From glaciers that breathe to stones that move, these are 35 incredible facts from Alberta that even people who live there don't know. Let's start. Part 1. Water, Ice, and Continental Logic. 1. Snow Dome, the triple ocean's apex. At the summit of the Columbia Icefield lies Snow Dome, the quietest hydrological argument on Earth. Here, a single snowflake can decide the fate of 3 different oceans. One trickle heads west toward the Pacific through the Columbia River. Another slips north into the Athabasca and Mackenzie on its path to the Arctic, and a third drifts east through the Saskatchewan and Nelson systems to Hudson Bay and the Atlantic. No human boundary guides this division, only the patient gravity of deep time. From this silent crown of ice, the continent begins to breathe. And every drop that falls here writes a separate destiny across thousands of kilometers. The mountain decides what coast it will meet. 2. Athabasca Glacier, a walk-on ice river. From Snow Dome spills the Athabasca Glacier, a 6-kilometer tongue of frozen motion sliding through Jasper National Park. It appears eternal, yet it creeps a few centimeters each day and retreats a few meters each year. Along the Icefields Parkway, small metal markers show where its front once stood: 1890, 1925, 1955. Each post a tombstone for another decade of cold lost to warmth. Since 1844, the glacier has shrunk by more than 1.5 kilometers and thinned by nearly 80 meters, revealing raw stone that hadn't seen sunlight since before Canada became a nation. To walk here is to feel centuries melting underfoot. The sound of trickling meltwater is the clock of a changing planet. 3. Medicine Lake, the vanishing lake. Downstream, logic collapses into illusion. Medicine Lake fills every summer like a normal alpine basin, then drains away each autumn as if swallowed by spirits. Beneath it lies a vast karst network of fissures carved into Devonian limestone, funneling the water underground to re-emerge kilometers away. Long before geology named it, Cree stories explained the mystery through the language of spirits and breath, a wisdom now echoed by science. In winter, the empty lakebed turns to a frozen meadow, where wolves cross what was once open water. Alberta's mountains hide entire rivers beneath their skin. 4. Malign Canyon, underground to sky. The water that vanishes at Medicine Lake resurfaces roaring through Malign Canyon, slicing more than 50 meters into rock older than dinosaurs. Freeze-thaw cycles sculpt its walls into twisted flutes and bridges, each layer recording another cold season's breath. The roar that fills the gorge is the echo of subterranean travel, water reborn into daylight after a journey through stone. Overhead, 5 narrow footbridges link both rims. Standing there, you feel suspended between 2 worlds, the invisible river below and the sky-blue torrent above. Every drop remembers where it has been. 5. Abraham Lake's methane bubbles. Farther east, Alberta's wind-swept highlands host a lake that turns chemistry into art. Abraham Lake, created by the Bighorn Dam on the North Saskatchewan River, traps pockets of methane rising from decaying plants. When the surface freezes in early winter, those bubbles stack like milky coins beneath sheets of transparent ice. Each layer marks a day of freezing, a timeline of trapped carbon awaiting release. Photographers call it surreal. Climatologists call it a warning. In the stillness of February, thousands of white circles shimmer underfoot, beauty floating atop the quiet mechanics of climate change. Nature signs its experiments in plain sight. 6. Peace Athabasca Delta, inland Amazon. Where the Peace and Athabasca rivers converge in the province's far north, the landscape forgets it's landlocked. The Peace-Athabasca Delta, spanning nearly 4,000 square kilometers inside Wood Buffalo National Park, is one of the largest inland deltas on Earth. Ice jam floods, reversing winds, and migrating birds shape a living mosaic of channels, ponds, and meadows. Moose wade through flooded willows, pelicans fish in shallow lagoons, and in spring, the entire delta breathes like a lung filled with snowmelt. Its wetlands store carbon, regulate climate, and host millions of nesting birds that connect Alberta to every corner of the hemisphere. It is Canada's beating ecological heart, pulsing far from any ocean. 7. Lake Claire, Alberta's largest all-Alberta lake. Within that same wilderness spreads Lake Claire, shallow, reed-fringed, and enormous, Alberta's largest lake contained entirely within its borders. Fed solely by the Peace and Birch rivers, it sprawls across nearly 1,400 square kilometers. Winds push its waters back and forth so strongly that shorelines shift by kilometers overnight, creating the illusion of inland tides. In summer, clouds of migratory birds darken the horizon. In winter, the lake becomes a white plain where only tracks of lynx and bison mark movement. Its boundaries are temporary, drawn each day by weather and wind. The map can never keep up. 9. Hot springs that started a nation. In 1883, while laying tracks through the Bow Valley, 3 railway workers stumbled upon steam rising from a cave near Sulphur Mountain. The springs they found became a flashpoint of ownership. Were these waters private, corporate, or collective? Ottawa answered by creating a protected reserve, the embryo of Banff National Park, and, soon after, the entire Canadian park system. From the smell of sulfur and the hiss of hot water emerged a new idea of nationhood, that some pieces of land belong to everyone. The cave and basin still bubbles today, whispering the origins of conservation beneath the rocky stone ribs. Part 2. Stone, Bones, and Moving Mountains. 10. Head Smashed In Buffalo Jump, UNESCO. Long before highways carved through prairie, the people of the plains engineered one of prehistory's most efficient hunting systems. At Head Smashed In, winds funneled herds of bison toward a sandstone cliff where gravity finished the chase. For more than 5,000 years, the Blackfoot used the same coulees, the same wind patterns, and the same understanding of herd behavior. Layers of bone more than 10 meters thick still lie buried beneath the grass. This is not ruin, but rhythm, a landscape turned into architecture. Alberta's first skyscraper was built from air and instinct. 11. Dinosaur Provincial Park, UNESCO. Far downstream along the Red Deer River, the land folds into badlands so intricate they seem drawn by another planet. Here, 75-million-year-old floodplains trapped and buried entire herds in moments of geologic violence. Over 50 dinosaur species have been uncovered, their skeletons so dense that a single square kilometer yields more fossils than some countries. The coulees reveal the tempo of ancient rivers, each layer a page of the Cretaceous. In the silence between hoodoos, you can almost hear the wings of creatures that never saw snow. Time still breathes through the stone. 12. Okotoks Big Rock Erratic. Just south of Calgary sits a 16,500-ton quartzite monolith resting on prairie grass like a misplaced mountain. Carried nearly 400 kilometers from Jasper on an ice tongue and dropped as glaciers melted, the Big Rock is a messenger from another age. Its split center tells of a violent freeze-thaw that cracked it before it was set down, as if the ice wanted to leave a signature. To the Blackfoot, it was the place where giants fought. To geologists, proof that ice can move continents grain by grain. The prairie stillness hides an ancient collision. 13. Frank Slide, Mountain Unzipped. In April 1903, Turtle Mountain decided to rearrange itself. In 90 seconds, 30 million cubic meters of limestone roared down on the mining town of Frank, erasing streets, homes, and 90 lives. The collapse began in undermined bedding planes weakened by coal seams and winter frost. Nature answering human excavation. Even today, the highway curves through a sea of gray boulders, each the size of a house, untouched for over a century. At night, locals swear they can still hear stones settling. The Rockies remember every tunnel carved into their ribs. 14. Red rock coulees, stone planets. Travel southeast and the ground suddenly erupts in giant rust-colored spheres, some 3 meters across. These concretions grew slowly inside Cretaceous seafloor mud as iron minerals crystallized outward, forming spherical fossils of chemistry itself. Now exposed by wind, they resemble stranded planets on a prairie horizon. Their surfaces record rain, oxidation, and time in concentric scars. Standing among them feels like visiting Mars without leaving Alberta. The universe hides in sediment. Writing on stone, Iacina P., UNESCO. Where prairie meets desert near the Milk River, wind and water sculpt hoodoos into cathedrals of sandstone. Upon those walls, indigenous artists carved stories of hunts, visions, and celestial events. Petroglyphs and pictographs spanning 2 millennia. Some figures merge human and animal, others track the motion of the sun across solstice horizons. Each symbol is both prayer and map. When dusk paints the cliffs red, the carvings glow as if reliving their own creation. This is Alberta's library, written not in ink, but in shadow and wind. 16. Castleguard Cave under ice. Beneath the Columbia ice field, a hidden world extends for more than 20 kilometers through marble and permafrost. Castleguard Cave is Canada's longest, its passages breathing with the glacier above. Each winter, pressure seals entrances. Each spring, meltwater rushes through in thunderous pulses. Explorers have mapped chambers lined with calcite crystals that formed while mammoths still roamed the surface. Inside, the air smells of minerals and centuries. The cave is a living instrument, recording the heartbeat of a glacier one drip at a time. 17. Foothills Erratics Train. But Castleguard is only one note in Alberta's glacial symphony. Stretching for nearly 900 kilometers from Jasper to Montana runs a corridor of scattered boulders, the Foothills Erratics Train. Each rock, some weighing thousands of tons, traveled atop a single ancient ice stream flowing between the Cordilleran and Laurentide ice sheets. Today, they rest perfectly aligned along the mountain front, a trail of breadcrumbs left by a disappearing giant. Farmers plow around them, unaware that they trace one of Earth's largest recorded glacial highways. The past still points south in stone. Perfect. Below is Part 3, Prairie Engines, Weather Whiplash, and Quiet Extremes. It's around 6,500 characters, entirely about Alberta, with each paragraph connected, ending with micro hooks, and flowing naturally into Part 4. Part 3. Prairie Engines, Weather Whiplash, and Quiet Extremes. 18. Chinook Arch, Winter's Trapdoor. On Alberta's southern plains, winter can vanish in a single breath. A Chinook wind descends from the Rockies, warming air so violently that snow disappears within hours. Temperatures can leap from -20 to +15 degrees before noon, turning frostbitten streets into dripping gutters. The sky arches with a luminous band of cloud that locals call the Chinook Arch, a banner announcing reprieve. Yet the gift cuts both ways. Sudden pressure swings bring migraines, sleeplessness, and cracked ice roads. Nature offers mercy by the minute, then takes it back. Alberta's climate keeps no promises. 19. Hailstorm Alley, Canada's costliest weather. But the same winds that melt snow can weaponize clouds. Between Calgary and Red Deer stretches Hailstorm Alley, one of Earth's most expensive corridors of severe weather. Warm prairie air collides with cold mountain drafts, forging hailstones the size of golf balls. In 2020, a single storm caused more than $1.3 billion in damage, the nation's costliest natural disaster that year. Car dealerships were shredded, greenhouses collapsed, and insurance rates soared like the thunderheads themselves. Here, the atmosphere isn't background, it's an economy. The sky writes invoices in ice. 20. Prairie Pothole Flyway. Between those tempests lie thousands of small, nameless ponds, glacial kettle holes that transformed into one of the planet's greatest bird factories. Each spring, meltwater fills these prairie potholes, breeding grounds for nearly 50% of North America's ducks. Mallards, teals, and pinetails hatch in such numbers that satellites track their migrations. Farmers drain them for land. Conservationists fight to keep them alive. Every puddle lost is a continent's silence gained. Alberta's flatlands are a launch pad to the world's skies. 21. Short grass steppe to aspen parkland. East of the foothills, the prairie doesn't end, it evolves. Within 50 kilometers, parched steppe gives way to trembling aspen and wetlands. Fire, moisture, and soil depth decide the borders. One thunderstorm can turn grassland into forest. This abrupt biome shift makes Alberta a living map of ecological negotiation. Ranchers and elk share the same fence line. Coyotes howl through both ecosystems. Few places on Earth reveal climate change so visibly in real time. Here, even vegetation debates its identity. 22. Sand dunes in the Boreal. Far to the north, beyond the oil sands, the boreal forest hides an impossible desert. The Richardson Dunes ripple across 20,000 hectares of pine and permafrost, relics of Ice Age winds. Frost heaves rearrange them every winter, while lichen slowly stitches the sand back into stability. In summer, wolf tracks cross dunes that once bordered glaciers. It is a landscape that remembers both fire and ice, a reminder that Alberta's extremes coexist, not compete. The North still whispers in grains. 23. Badlands built by flash floods. Drive east again and the ground collapses into labyrinths of hoodoos and clay spires. The Drumheller Badlands were sculpted not by centuries, but by hours. Rare cloudbursts that tore through soft shale like chisels. Each storm exposes fossils or erases them entirely. Locals joke that an entire semester of geology can happen in an afternoon. Beneath the whimsical shapes lie the bones of dinosaurs and the scars of water's rage. Alberta's drylands are monuments to violent rain. 24. Rats not here. In a world where rodents cross oceans in shipping containers, Alberta remains almost rat-free, a continental oddity. Geography helps. Cold winters, sparse borders, and a vigilant pest control program that began in 1950. The province guards its eastern frontier like a quarantine line, employing inspectors to patrol grain elevators and barns. When a nest appears, it's headline news. Alberta is the only major region on Earth where the Norway rat has never truly conquered. A clean map is its quiet badge of pride. Peace River's hanging valleys. Up north, the Peace River carves through farmland like a wound from another era. Its canyon once carried meltwater 10 times greater than today's flow, leaving tributaries stranded high on cliffs, hanging valleys that end abruptly in space. Farmers plant wheat above and look down at prehistory below. The river's very shape is a fossil of flood. Each meander is an echo of glacial thunder that never really stopped. 26. Prairie thermals and sky rivers. Finally, look upward. Alberta skies are not emptiness, but motion. Lenticular clouds stacked over Canmore, updrafts spiraling above brooks, mirages dancing across Highway 2. Pilots call it sky rivers, where invisible thermals carry hawks, dust, and dreams toward the stratosphere. These same currents fuel wind turbines and shape tomorrow's energy grid. The prairie doesn't just endure weather, it manufactures it. Alberta's ceiling is as alive as its ground. Perfect. Below is the final part 4, edges, night, remoteness, and living with giants. written in the same cinematic, immersive tone as the previous parts. It's around 6,500 characters, each paragraph numbered, interconnected, and ending with micro hooks. The narrative builds toward a reflective close, followed by the full control line. Part 4. Edges, Night, Remoteness, and Living with Giants. 27. Wood buffalo, bigger than some countries. In Alberta's far north sprawls Wood Buffalo National Park, a wilderness so vast it swallows imagination. At nearly 45,000 square kilometers, it's larger than Switzerland, a country of boreal plains, salt flats, sinkholes, and wetlands shared with the Northwest Territories. Here, bison graze through dawn fog, wolves patrol ice roads, and thunderstorms roll over horizons too wide to frame. Created in 1922 to protect the last wild herds of wood bison, it later revealed entire salt plains and karst springs invisible to satellites. Even silence feels large here. Alberta ends not in fences, but in distance. 28. Whooping crane's last wild nursery. Within that same park lies one of Earth's rarest cradles of life, the nesting grounds of the whooping crane. By the 1940s, fewer than 20 birds survived, all of them here, hidden among the Peace Athabasca marshes. Year after year they returned, raising fragile chicks in flooded meadows where no predator dares linger. Their long migration now stretches to Texas, tracing the same flyway carved by meltwater millennia ago. Against extinction, they chose Alberta solitude. The sound of their call still echoes over Muskeg, a ghost note of survival. 29. World's longest beaver dam, remote north. Far beyond any highway, satellite images revealed a glimmering line cutting across an unnamed wetland. A beaver dam nearly 850 meters long, still growing after 4 decades of construction. Generations of beavers have extended it year by year, each branch cemented with peat and mud into a hydrological monument visible from space. It holds back an entire ecosystem, ponds, sedge meadows, and willow thickets that sustain moose, muskrats, and birds. No blueprint, no politics, just persistence. Alberta's true engineers work with teeth and instinct. 30. Jasper, Dark Sky Cathedral. In the west, light gives way to wonder. Jasper National Park hosts one of the world's largest dark sky preserves, where mountain walls block city glow and the Milky Way arches like a luminous spine. During the October Dark Sky Festival, telescopes dot the frozen fields while auroras pulse overhead. The cold air amplifies every sound, boots on snow, whispers of awe. Under this dome of silence, even starlight feels heavier, more deliberate. Here, night becomes a cathedral, where photons travel centuries to reach your eyes. Alberta keeps the cosmos within driving distance. 31. Beaver Hills Dark Sky Mosaic. Yet darkness isn't confined to mountains. East of Edmonton, in the rolling knob and kettle terrain of Beaver Hills, another dark sky sanctuary shelters both bison and astronomers. Elk Island National Park and its partners protect a pocket of night for 1 million nearby residents. While city lights glow on the horizon, overhead remains a living map of constellations. It's one of the few places where you can photograph both the Milky Way and a bison in the same frame, a balance between civilization and cosmos. Alberta teaches that preservation can exist beside proximity. 32. Waterton Glacier, First Peace Park. At Alberta's southwest edge, mountains plunge abruptly into prairie at Waterton Lakes, a place where continents, ecosystems, and even nations overlap. In 1932, it joined Montana's Glacier National Park to form the world's first international peace park. The border runs invisibly through alpine meadows, shared grizzly ranges, and mirrored lakes that reflect both flags at once. Wind howls through avalanche chutes, while rainbow trout swim across 2 countries without noticing either. The land itself practices diplomacy. Alberta's peaks and plains hold peace as geography, not theory. Columbia Icefield Parkway, geography in 230 kilometers. Few roads on Earth compress time like the Icefields Parkway. Between Lake Louise and Jasper, 230 kilometers of asphalt slice through thrust sheets, hanging valleys, and proglacial lakes. Each curve a new chapter of geologic storytelling. Tour buses pass cliffs tilted by continental collision, rivers braided with meltwater, and moraines marking the glacier's retreat. It's the rare highway where every kilometer is both a view and a lesson. Beneath the tires lies a billion years of compression and uplift. The Rockies aren't scenery, they're the syllabus of creation. 34. Banff's Lake Palette. Closer to the tourist heart, Banff's trio of turquoise lakes, Moraine, Peyto, and Louise, seem too vivid to be real. Their colors aren't tricks of Photoshop, but physics. Rock flour ground by glaciers suspend in meltwater, scattering blue-green light under alpine sun angles. Each hue shifts with the hour. Sunrise paints emerald, noon burns sapphire, dusk cools to silver. Visitors leave convinced no pigment could match it. Nature here behaves like an artist mixing glacial dust and sunlight. Alberta's lakes are its most honest illusions. 35. End of road north. And beyond Fort McMurray, pavement dissolves into gravel and then into winter road, temporary arteries laid on frozen muskeg. Trucks haul supplies to remote hamlets reachable only by ice. When spring comes, the roads vanish. The north closes itself like a book. Here, latitude means less than logistics. Temperature, daylight, and fuel decide survival. Communication towers blink faintly against an endless sky. This is Alberta's edge, not an ending, but a reminder. Civilization thins faster than courage. The land decides who stays.